Good morning, we're here in Switzerland with the world's first underwater jetpack. I'm Archie O'Brien, founder and CEO of CudaJet, and we're here to explore this lovely area. So, we've come all this way to Switzerland, and this is the river that we're going to be diving in. Jesus.
These are not the conditions we were expecting. And right now, I'm rather worried that our long drive out here with the film crew will result in no underwater action.
I reckon it's had a week of rain. That's why it's all like this. Right, so we've just arrived in Switzerland, and we've had a little look at the river, and it's very rough. It's fast flowing. It's not clear. There's debris in the water, and the man said, "Well, we should have come last week." Obviously, because it rained this week, and it says, well, how many days is it going to clear up? And he said, well, it could be, some days. And how many days is that? And he goes, some days. I said, right, okay. And he goes, but you can go in the waterfalls. So we're going to have a look, see what happens, and find a spot. But right now, the plan is changing. We don't know where exactly we're going to be. However, we do have a lovely view, so that's always a good start. That's a good start. Bit pokey, isn't it? Yeah, this is the other one I want to look at. Oh, it's just there. I reckon I might go for a dip. It would be a lovely spot if it wasn't raging. Blimey. I'm not being funny, but I think that's faster than the jetpack. Look at the speed that's coming through. But here's the good news. The good news is you can see some of those rocks. So the water, even though it's coming down at 1,000,000 miles an hour and all mixed up, it's still naturally quite clear. So if we can just let this calm down for a day or two, we might be able to find a section where at least we can see top down from the jetpack. I think it's like 10 meters deep or something. When it goes down, it's like 10 meters under the water. This is a violent rampage of water. I don't want to get too close. I would definitely die in there. Wow. Look at that.
On closer inspection, I'm starting to wonder whether the tales told of smooth, eroded boulder walls, bejeweled by emerald green waters, is nothing more than a legend.
This is where the calm diving spot would have been, and we were going to be flying in and out of these rocks. At the moment, there is no chance. I can't tell the speed of the water because there's a lot of eddies and it's going backwards and forwards. But you're looking over 10 miles an hour very easily in some places, which is definitely faster than the jetpack. But also, the water is white water, meaning there's a lot of air inside the water, and that will cause problems for the propulsion system, because the propulsion system works on water, not air. It won't damage it, however, it won't produce as much thrust, so you will definitely be travelling slower in what is already a very challenging environment. So even for my risk-taking, adrenaline-seeking self, this is going to be a firm no.
So this morning we thought we'd get up rather early, catch the sunrise and have a little look around, because the river, we could hear it from where we were staying, so I know it's still violent. And we've come over to the other side of the mountain now, and we're about to have a look at a scuba diving spot. And I'm hoping that it's a little bit more clear, because there's a dam up at the top of this for some kind of lake, I've forgotten the name. And so I reckon this will be nice and clear. It looks like we can see some clear water. We're going to just whack it in here and have a little look. It's looking clear. It's a bit fast, but it's clear. I think we want to be down this way. Just over there, it looks like some slower moving water. There. So, found a spot. It looks clear. It's quite fresh, but it looks very fun. There's some fast moving water, and we're going to see what we can do.
Oh, baby. We are Apollo, steady, trapped in a void, countless hours without sleep, unaware, baby, we're just like sheep. So I walk away from everything, 'cause I don't care just how it
So the entrance point might be a bit difficult to traverse, so how do you cope with this with the jetpack on?
So there's a few ways that you can get in the water. Normally you generally go for a bit of a back step or just a careful walking in entry, but if it's quite difficult you can actually jump, or what I personally prefer is diving in. You just want to make sure that the coast is clear, but that way the intake is already in the water and you're jetting off as soon as possible. That's what I enjoy, and in a space like this, that's what I think we're going to try.
So how do you handle the ergonomics as a beginner with the jetpack?
Well, as a beginner, there's a few ways. It's very intuitive sort of feeling. So because of the way the jetpack's mounted in between your shoulder blades at the back, this allows you to control direction simply by moving your body. There's no controls for direction on the controller, and that's
The reason for that is then the jetpack can't force you down or force you into any direction. You control that, and all the controller does is give you the power to go. That's a dead man switch as well, so if you let go of that, you lose all power and you'll float up to the surface. Simple as that. You chill out on the surface, retrieve the controller, and then you can just sit back and relax.
How's the battery life with the Jetpack?
So officially we say about 40 minutes, but it really does depend on the environment, what the current is like, if you're resting in between dives and things like that. But today our session time was about 1 hour and 45 minutes.
So I've been scrolling through your Instagram and I noticed that the most common question is people ask is, can it outrun sharks?
Well, the sharks don't actually run, and the jetpack does run on batteries, so I would say yes, it probably can.
There you go.
Don't let it in, just let it go. I don't know how, but I just know how to pass the time. It's a pantomime. Find a place where I wanna stay, and if this time, throw it all away. Yeah, I know it's you. Yeah, I know it's you. It's the longest time. Let the bridges burn before we lay down. It's the longest time. Let the bridges burn before we lay down.
Okay, it's fresh, it's about 7:30, 10 degrees, and it's sounding a little bit more quiet. So we're quite excited because this spot that we're looking at might be possible to jetpack in. Oh, okay, that's still a little bit rough there, but
The water is still too rough, but it's early in the day, and I'm feeling hopeful as local knowledge has told us the water can calm very quickly if they close the dam. We were also let in on a little secret beach further up the river where it widens and naturally slows down. If this isn't calm now, then our chances of our desired spot are looking slim.
How does the Jetpack handle different currents?
so the jetpack can cut through the current quite easily. I'm not sure exactly on the speed that it can take of the current, but we'll review some of the footage today and show you some of that, and I think you'll be very impressed with what we have to show.
How easy is it to take the Jetpack on and off?
So there's a small technique you have to learn if you read through the manual, but as you'll see on the video, it's very quick and easy. Once you establish that, there's a top and a bottom mount, you clip those in place, and then you're good to go.
So how easy is it for a beginner to pick up using the Jetpack?
Well, so actually we gave the cameraman a go this morning, and he picked it up very, very quickly. I think it must have been in about under 2 minutes. I'd already used up my jetpack, and so I wasn't in the water to be able to give him tuition. I just said, well, squeeze the trigger, go up and down here, and he picked up the basics very quickly. still in Switzerland, and this is the fast moving water that we talked about yesterday. It has calmed down a little bit, but it is still quite quick. So we're going to hop in, give it a go, and see what the jetpack can take. I think by tomorrow it would have calmed down a little bit, so we will try again. But I am excited to see if I can navigate these rocks at a high speed. Let's give it a go. So that was the first episode of the Explorer series, and it went very, very well. We're in a slightly different location to normal. It's not the sea, and we're dealing with some fast flowing currents which weren't expected, but it was very nice to, especially for me as a little bit more of an advanced user, to test that out and really experience maybe some hairy stuff at times, but ultimately very, very fun and very fast going with the current in the jet stream. There's some very deep spots as well, 10-15 meters in this place. The water was cold, but it didn't seem to be a problem. I think we've been in the water for maybe 4 or 5 hours a day, and I'm glad the water calmed down enough that we were able to make good use of it.